Welcome to Jewish Inspirational Stories. We're reading from the book Living Emunah on the Parsha. In but an instant, the Torah foresees the time when Bnei Israel will go out to war, and you see horse and chariot, a people more numerous than you. The Torah instructs, "You shall not fear them, for Hashem your God is with you." Although by the laws of nature Bnei Israel would have no way of defeating the much larger and more formidable enemy, they are told not to fear because Hashem will assist them. Rashi notes that the Torah uses the singularity term, horse, and chariot, despite the fact that the enemy would come with many horses and chariots. This indicates that for Hashem, it is as though the enemy had no more than a single horse and a single chariot. Similarly, Rashi explains the phrase, "a nation greater than you," to mean that to Bnei Israel, the enemy forces seem superior, but for Hashem they are nothing. No matter how desperate the situation appears, Hashem wants us to feel that He can help us in an instant. Rabbeinu Yonah writes in Shar Teshuvah that the command presented here applies not only to warfare, but also to difficulties and crises that a person confronts. He writes, "If a person sees that trouble is approaching, Hashem's salvation shall be in his heart, and he shall put his faith in it. When crisis looms, a person should not dismiss it and convince himself that there's nothing to worry about. Instead, he should recognize the gravity of the situation and trust that Hashem is with him and wants to help him. That Hashem wants us to look to Him in times of trouble, and to understand that only He can help us. But how can we rely on Hashem for help if we are unworthy of His assistance? The answer to this question is quite simply that we do not deserve anything He gives us. We do not ask Him for help for our basic necessities because we feel we deserve it, but rather because we understand that He is kind and wants to help us despite our unworthiness. David HaMelech makes this point when he says, "I trust in you and your kindness." We cannot even fathom how merciful and compassionate Hashem is. Even everything that we have in life is given to us from Him as an undeserved gift. And thus, in situations of crisis, we can turn to Him and ask Him to help us, regardless of whether we are worthy. God often sends His salvation just at the moment the situation seems hopeless. One Shabbos, a man was pushed in a wheelchair in Deal, New Jersey, and the wheelchair became stuck in the railroad tracks. His attendant desperately tried to free the wheels, but to no avail. He was still struggling frantically when they heard the far-off horn of an oncoming train. At that very moment, the Hatzalah ambulance happened to pass by. Two men jumped out and freed the wheelchair about 7 seconds before the train reached that spot. It was later revealed that the ambulance was returning from a call that proved not to be serious. When they saw the wheelchair caught on the tracks, it became clear why they had been called. The normal response time for a Hatzalah ambulance is about 45 seconds. This time, however, the ambulance was delayed, and it took 4 minutes to reach the scene to which they had been called. As they drove back from Mammoth Medical Center, the medic asked the driver why he wasn't driving down Ocean Avenue. "It's okay," the driver said. "I'm fine driving along the tracks." It was clear hashgacha pratis that brought them to the site of the stuck wheelchair at the precise moment they were needed. We must feel at all times, even in the darkest moments when all hope seems lost, that Hashem can resolve the problem in but an instant. The Gemara in Brachos teaches, even if a sharp sword rests upon a person's neck, he should not despair from Hashem's compassion. The Yavatz writes that during the horrific period of the atrocities of Tach V'Tav, his grandfather was one of the large group of Jews who were being slaughtered one by one. When his grandfather's turn came, the executioner looked at him and said, "You're too young." He turned the sword around and beat him with the handle rather than the blade, then threw him among the lifeless corpses of the executed Jews. At nightfall, his grandfather got up and ran away. The Gemara meant it literally. Even if a sword is at the person's neck, he can still be saved. We must never fear or despair. Hashem is with us and is capable of bringing salvation under all circumstances. Thanks and have an amazing Shabbat.